delay to easing England's restrictions is all but confirmed, as the Prime Minister says he has to be cautious. Boris Johnson told Robert Peston that hospital admissions are going up and he must do whatever it takes to protect lives.
Prime Minister, we're delaying 4 weeks, aren't we?
Well, we're going to be setting up position on Monday, but to deliver an irreversible, you've got to be cautious.
Also tonight, Leeds for Wales, who come from in their opening match at the Euros, and the Queen's official birthday parade scaled back again, but trooping the colours should.
ITV News with Chris Shipp.
Hello, good evening. The big easing of restrictions in England in 10 days' time appears to be off, as the Prime Minister all but confirmed a delay, possibly by as much as 4 weeks. Speaking to ITV News at the G7 summit in Cornwall today, Boris Johnson said he wanted the next stage of unlocking to be irreversible, and it was therefore necessary, he said, to be cautious. Mr Johnson also pledged that goods will keep moving to and from Northern Ireland, even though EU leaders accuse him of breaking the deal he signed at the time of Brexit. He spoke about all those issues with our political editor, Robert.
How are you doing?
He's supposed to be saving the world here in Cornwall with the other 6 leaders of rich democracies. But he's also 48 hours from announcing an expected delay to the end of all lockdown restrictions.
Prime Minister, we're delaying 4 weeks, aren't we?
What I can certainly tell you is that to deliver an irreversible roadmap, which is what we want, you've got to be cautious, and we're still looking at the data. What we're seeing is unquestionably signs that not just cases but also hospitalisations are going up.
But it's about the NHS coping, though, isn't it?
In order to deliver a irreversible roadmap, you've got to be cautious.
And just to be clear, is hospitalisations for you the key bit of data?
I think we've just got to do whatever it takes to protect life in this country. That's what we're going to do. It may be that we need, in the race between the vaccines and the virus, we need to make sure that we give vaccines extra days.
Now, lots of people deferred their weddings until after June the 21st. Can you give them any hope that even with a delay, they can go ahead and have
I'm
parties?
going to be setting out, you'll be having a lot of chapter and verse about exactly what we're going to do on Monday, and I don't want to anticipate that.
Because part of this Delta variant we got from India, do you regret not being this a bit earlier?
We put India on the red list on April the 23rd, which was long before.
Lots of variants came in, so surely you're not about doing it as late as that.
We put India on the red list. You have to spend 10 days in quarantine.
So no regrets.
Let alone
No regrets?
a variant of concern. Obviously, we'll look back at all the decisions that we made, but that was done on the best scientific advice at the time.
I moved the conversation to the shadow over this summit, the charge against the Prime Minister from EU leaders that he's breaching the Brexit deal, the Northern Ireland Protocol that governs trade between Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Look, this is not a trivial thing. There are all sorts of products that are currently facing difficulties, and we've got to get it sorted out. They've heard the message loud and clear, and the UK will do whatever is necessary to protect our United Kingdom internal market.
Involving unilaterally ripping up the protocol, is that a possibility?
We'll do whatever is necessary.
One other thing.
Now, lots of people sent you congratulations on your wedding, got married in Westminster Cathedral. Are you now a practising Roman Catholic?
I don't discuss these deep issues, certainly not with you.
Why not? Keir Starmer said he doesn't believe in God. Do you believe in God?
Well, the foolish man has said in his heart there is no God.
Fine, good to see
leave
you.
it at that.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And Robert joins us now from the G7 summit. So, Robert, with these domestic lockdowns and also this trade disputes with the EU, what's your assessment? Is the G7 summit going how Boris Johnson wanted it to?
Well, look, there's lots of other stuff going on the global front, like stuff we've been talking about, supplying 1 million doses of vaccines to poorer countries. But the Prime Minister's brain is, pretty much in the UK for a lot of the time here, because he's got this big announcement on Monday, and as I've been saying for some time, I expect him to defer the end of lockdown for 4 weeks. And it seemed to me that the key thing that he said is he feels he needs to give the vaccine some more legs to work. And the reason for that, frankly, is because hospitalisations are now going up. Having been falling for weeks, they've risen over the last 7 days about 15%. Also, he's showing no mood at all to play down the row with the EU. He used really quite inflammatory language. He said it was about the territorial integrity of the UK. I don't expect a massive public row here, but my goodness, when the G7 summit is over, this row is going to return with a vengeance.
OK, Roberts, thank you very much indeed. And apart from the important job of speaking to Robert, the PM had several other meetings at the G7 today. The French President Emmanuel Macron was one of them. He said he told Boris Johnson he wants to reset relations with the UK, but only if the Prime Minister keeps his word over that trade dispute in Northern Ireland. Monsieur Macron went on to meet Joe Biden. He praised the US President for demonstrating, in his words, that leadership is partnership. And the Prime Minister's wife, Carrie Johnson, hosted US First Lady Jill Biden and the other leaders' wives. They went to see a performance at Cornwall's famous Minack Theatre. OK, in other news, the Foreign Secretary has raised the possibility of a virtual trial for the American woman accused of killing teenager Harry Dunn. Anne Sekulas accepts that she caused the crash that killed Harry in Northamptonshire in 2019. The US won't extradite her to stand trial here, but Dominic Raab says they won't stand in the way of some kind of virtual court proceedings. The Dunn family said they are cautiously hopeful.
We welcome the development. It's clearly a huge step forward towards justice, but equally, we're just going to take it a step at a time, because what we're obviously keen to ensure is that whatever justice there is has to be meaningful justice.
It has been a long wait, an extra year due to the pandemic, but today one of the UK nations finally kicked off the delayed 2020 Euros. Wales are hoping to go first time after semi-finals in 2016. Today in Azerbaijan, Switzerland stood in their way, and as our correspondent Lucy Watson reports from Baku, it wasn't the easiest of afternoons for the fans.
Numeroising Libby the Ladder. Slaves with visions in only an army, the edge of Europe for their team.
A lot of hoops here, too, but I'm so pleased to be here.
I think the furthest I've been is Cardiff through COVID, so this is mammoth.
It's all worth it once you get out here in the sun, a few beers with your friends.
Their loyalty was rewarded as the players turned to them for the national anthem. And so Wales's Euro 2020 adventure began, with almost a perfect start. Kiefer Moore's header brilliantly saved by the Swiss goalkeeper, Moore with a gashed forehead. Early in the second half came the warning sign, backed by a great Stewart.
Fine save, Ward.
Seconds later, he could do nothing. 1-0 to Switzerland.
Wales open up for Switzerland.
Wales were on the back foot, then stepped.
And there! Rises to the big occasion.
Some late drama when Switzerland thought they'd scored again, only to be disallowed by VAR for offside.
Wales have
Continued to push, needing more heroics from Danny Ward. 1-1. For the few who travelled, it was a tense one. Expect a goal fest from Rob Page's men today. It was all about escaped with a point.
Hopefully it's all Wednesday night now.
There's no rejoicing today, but plenty of relief after the drag. There, Lucy Watson up.
Meanwhile, England have been looking ahead deeply tomorrow afternoon against the hottest day of our sports at Wembley. Less than 20.
Yeah, it's getting very close, isn't it? As you say, Chris, England have their final training session at St George's Park today before heading down to London. Of course, tomorrow all eyes will be on Gareth Southgate, and which team he picks. I suspect all England fans will be wanting him to throw on all his young, exciting talent at once, but I don't suspect he'll do that. I think he'll be a little bit more cautious because he recognises the only major tournament is not really one where you take too many risks. One other point noting about tomorrow, the X-Finals